Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's week 5 of the NFL season and the Jets are going to be at home taking on the rival Dolphins, the 3-1 Dolphins, the first place Miami Dolphins. I'm just going to cut right to the chase. This is the biggest game of the season so far for the Jets, easily. We look at this Dolphins team through the first quarter of the NFL season, and much like the Jets, they've started out with an extremely difficult schedule, but the Dolphins are 3-1. Okay, they have wins over the Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens. Their only loss was last week against the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. That was the whole game where Tua came out. We all know what happened on Thursday night, okay? But, man, we look at the Dolphins, they have a ton of talent, right? Especially offensively. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. We can even point to the running backs, not only just as runners, but as pass catchers as well. I don't want to sleep on either of those guys, Edmonds and Mostert. This Dolphins team, granted, it will be without Tua. Teddy Bridgewater will be in the lineup, but even with that said, this is still a really, really good offense, a really good O. This is literally a top 10 offense in points per game, yards per game, third downs, fourth downs, touchdowns, and in the red zone. They're extremely efficient in throwing the football as well. They're top 5 in completion percentage, yards per pass, passing yards per game. Unfortunately, though, for the Dolphins, they aren't running the football as effectively. Okay, granted, this is the NFL. It's not like you can suit up every single Sunday, play great defense, dominate the passing game, win every game you play, dominate the rushing game, and just win on all facets every single week. But man, when I look at those numbers, and I think about all my friends that are Dolphins fans, shout out to my buddy Angelo. He's the biggest Dolphins fan I know. I know he's extremely pumped up, okay, but here's where things get interesting. They're taking on a New York Jets team that is coming off an incredible win against the Pittsburgh Steelers in comeback fashion. Zach Wilson was nearly perfect in the fourth quarter, going 10 of 12, 128 passing yards, 6 for 6 on the last drive, okay, when the team needed him most. He stepped up to the plate, he delivered, he was completing passes, and he essentially led the Jets. If it wasn't for him, the Jets would have lost that game. That's the bottom line. Okay, so the Jets are riding this huge wave of momentum back home to Metlife Stadium. There has been a massive emphasis on beating divisional opponents, right? Robert Saleh has said it himself. That needs to get better. He's 1000% correct. The Jets have been absolutely atrocious against the AFC East in the last couple of seasons. Last year, in Saleh's first season, he didn't win a single game. He was 0-6 within the East. The year before that, the Jets were also 0-6. Abysmal, 0-12. The year before that, 2-4. 2-16 within the division in the last 3 years. That is horrendous. Okay, so yeah, the Jets have got to look better against the AFC East. The Dolphins are the first opponent here. I'm happy it's at home. I'm happy the Jets are coming off a win, but this is going to be a really, really difficult game. The Miami Dolphins, I know some have said overrated. I'm personally not buying into that. I think this is a really good football team. Now, one thing I do want to make a note of, Mike McDaniel, Robert Saleh, and Mike LaFleur were all a part of the same staff back in San Francisco just a couple of seasons ago. Okay, so you can make an argument, do these guys have almost insider information on one another, what the schemes look like? Does Robert Saleh know how to attack Mike McDaniel's offense? Does Mike McDaniel know how to attack Saleh's defense? I really feel like this is going to be a major coaching chess match in this game. And of course, we're assuming that the players are playing not necessarily mistake-free football, but aren't handicapping the team. If we have quarterbacks out there, if Wilson and Bridgewater are throwing interceptions and getting sacked left and right, offensive linemen are getting beat, then it might not be that much of a coaching chess match. But, when we look at scheme versus scheme, where these guys have all came from, and even the relationships off the field, they know each other quite well. I'm extremely, extremely excited for this game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's even some trickery, some things that just come out of left field, stuff that Jets and Dolphins fans aren't really expecting. I think it's going to be totally exciting. Must watch TV, to be honest with you. So what can this Jets offense do to have success against this Dolphins defense? I really think the big thing here, and I know this is a little crazy because I haven't talked about this at all this season, but this is, again, the NFL here. It's all about matchups. It's all about who you're playing every single Sunday. You don't want to be one-dimensional. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. If I'm the New York Jets, I'm actually taking shots down the field. I look at this Dolphins defense. They're pretty efficient stopping the run. But man, defending against the pass, the Dolphins have really struggled. They're 31st in the league, okay, second to last in all of football in opposing passing yards per game and yards per pass. They're 27th in opposing passes per game, okay, so that means teams are throwing the football a lot and they're having a lot of success, and every time they do drop back to throw, it's going for, quite a bit of yards. They're 24th in opposing completion percentage, they're 30th in interceptions thrown, and they're 27th in sacks. So this Dolphins defense in the passing game is vulnerable, okay? If the Jets offensive line can hold up, and I know that's a big if, it's like a big game of musical chairs. It's like who's playing where, nobody really knows. We have positional changes, right? AVT going from right guard, well, really left guard his rookie year to right guard his second year. Now he's over at left tackle. Just completely, AVT is one of my favorite players on this Jets team. Shows up, works hard, puts out good tape. I love Vera Tucker. But look, the tackle position, Max Mitchell went down. What's happening there? What's happening at tackle? Are we going to see Vera Tucker at left tackle again? I wouldn't be surprised. I would actually like that a lot. But I will say this, the Jets they signed 2 veteran tackles in the previous weeks. Mike Remmers, he's really bounced around, but most recently with the Kansas City Chiefs, and Cedric Ogbuehi. I think it's going to be nice having either of those guys or even both of those guys at the tackle position, whether you're talking about them in a short-term starting role or as backup, depth, as more of a depth player. We also have Dwayne Brown. He's eligible to come back this week. That news, I feel like that news should have already been announced, but I think it should drop at some point today or tomorrow. We'll find out soon. But the Jets have some reinforcements on the way here at tackle, so I'm not extremely worried. I was more concerned about the tackle position last week against the Steelers, with guys like Connor McDermott and whatnot. We just didn't really know what we were going to get. But I will say this, I was impressed with Saleh's decision to start the best 5 last week against the Steelers. That's something that I feel like he hasn't done in really his Jets tenure. I like how he just approached the Steeler game. You know what? Nobody knows what we're going to do. The Steelers know we're down a couple of bodies. Let's just shake things up. Let's put the best 5 offensive linemen out on the field, and they actually had success. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the top, 3, top 5 line of football, but they did well enough to get the job done. So as far as the Jets defense goes, I'm not writing off Teddy Bridgewater. I know he is not a top 10 quarterback in football, but when I look at Bridgewater, he's a veteran. He's had success with numerous coaching staffs and numerous schemes on numerous teams. The Saints, the Vikings. I like Bridgewater especially in a backup role like this. Short term, he's smart. He knows where to go with the football. He's a quick release. When I'm thinking about Bridgewater within this offense, I don't think a whole lot changes. I'm looking for passes over the middle of the field, short passes. I'm not expecting Mike McDaniel to say, "Oh, we have Bridgewater at quarterback. We have to, slice off a portion of our offense." I think they'll throw the kitchen sink at the Jets. I'm watching out for misdirection as well, pre-snap movement. This is stuff that Saleh should be prepared for because these guys were in San Francisco together and the offenses that the Jets and the Dolphins run are similar. Okay, another reason why I'm really thinking there's going to be a big emphasis on middle of the field, up the seam, really attacking or feeding the tight end position. The cornerback play from the Jets on the outside, right, on the perimeter, has been really, really good in DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. Both guys have been absolutely electric this season. I don't see a quarterback that doesn't have that strong of an arm in Teddy Bridgewater try to go out there a lot, especially on 50-50 balls within, 15, 20 yards of the line of scrimmage. I just, when I'm putting myself in the Dolphins' shoes, I just feel like there's so many other routes, so many more easier routes that you can take to have success, as opposed to trying to beat Sauce, to try to beat DJ Reed on the outside, maybe down the field, right, with Tyreek Hill's speed and Waddle's speed and everything like that. But I think there's going to be a big emphasis on yards after the catch and targeting the middle of the field. So I cannot wait for the game. This is definitely the game I'm most looking forward to so far of the season, probably outside of week 1, because it's the home opener. But with that said, the Dolphins are 3-1. They have had extra time to prepare for this Jets team, again, because they played on Thursday night. They have had numerous credible wins here. Buffalo, New England, Baltimore, great wins. Right, great wins. I cannot wait. One quick thing I do want to point out though, the Dolphins have been penalized a lot defensively. So if the Jets can maybe get these guys to jump off sides, or create some pass interference calls, defensive, even some holdings, things of that nature, maybe the Jets could catch a couple breaks in the penalty yardage. But we'll see how it all plays out. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, go Jets.